powerful, very, very clear ways to know that you are in a season of endurance. Number one, if you feel like you have been trying and trying and trying and attempting and giving effort and trying and trying and trying and again and trying, and it feels like not only are you barely inching along, but it even feels like you go backwards at some points. Okay? Do you feel that way? Let me actually put my directions in let me pull back over real quick and put my directions in. Do you feel like you are trying and trying, and no matter what you do, it just seems like it's like you are in kind of an abyss, or like you are in, oh shoot, oh, my sister just texted me right now, so sweet. It feels like you're in an abyss, right? You might feel like you're in a realm. You might feel like you are like in mud. Like, you know when people say, oh, I got it out the mud? It's like, it's that feeling of like, how is it that I keep doing what I'm doing, going after my goals, going after my dreams, and it's just like nothing is cracking, nothing is actually moving, right? That's how you know you're in a season of endurance. Right when you feel like you're about to quit, right when you feel like you're ready to give up, right when you feel like, what's the point of this? Right when you start actually listening. Because what happens is sometimes people will start to like make you wobbly in what you know you're on. You know you're on the right path, but other people are making you feel wobbly because they don't have your same vision. They don't know that you actually are on the exact path you're supposed to be on. They don't know that you're on the exact timeline that you're supposed to be on. Okay? They don't know that there's a few more things that you have to learn before you actually get your breakthrough. Because if you didn't learn those specific things, your breakthrough would actually be when you actually finally were to get the thing that you've been desiring. That would actually be the very thing that would be your demise, because you didn't gain this one skill. You didn't gain this one attribute, or this you basically didn't get the muscles to hold the blessing. Okay, so a lot of times we see that oftentimes happen with celebrities, where they will finally get the breakthrough, but then all of a sudden 5 years later they're in a mental institution, or they're on some crazy drug issue, or they just completely fall off out of nowhere. It's because they did not actually develop the muscle. So an indicator that one of the number one ways that you can clearly tell that you're in a season of endurance is you have this yearning to keep going. You have this yearning to not stop. You have this yearning to not quit, even when it doesn't make sense to other people, even when people can't see what you're seeing. And even though it's coming on strong, right? Your actual effort, it seems like there's no actual fruit that's coming from your effort, and other people around you are starting to tell you, hey, maybe you might want to take a step back. Maybe you might want to take a different route. Maybe you might want to quit. Maybe you might want to rethink this. And there's just something, because it's different, right? Some people might give you that advice, and it is the right advice to take. But then there's just something, it feels a little bit different about this particular thing, right? It feels like, no, this 100% feels right, even though nothing is making sense, right? Like when I'm actually looking at my physical reality, nothing's actually making sense. Nothing actually is, it's not really seeming like it's moving forward. It's not necessarily moving backwards, but it's just slow, right? And maybe a couple times it might move like it'll seem like it's moving backwards, but maybe it's moving laterally, right? And the lateral move will feel like it's backwards, but it's just another lesson that you have to learn to be able to hold where you're going. Okay, so that is a very clear indicator. It's that sweet spot of a feeling where you're like, everyone's telling me to quit. It's really actually not making sense for me to keep going, but something's just telling me to keep going. So that's number one. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I kind of touched on it a little bit, but we're going to go into more detail. You literally feel like the only option left is to quit. Like you got like 2% left in the tank, but you kind of almost would rather just be like, you know what, maybe I really should just like throw in the towel on this. Like this is just like, I have good intentions. I've been at it. I've been consistent. I've been resilient. I've been obedient. I've been patient. I haven't stopped. But it's at the point now where it kind of just is feeling like it really doesn't make sense for me to keep going. Like it does, but it doesn't. It's like that tiny little sweet spot where the breakthrough is about to actually pour down from heaven, but it's that final defeat to see, like, are you gonna fold right now? Because it actually does look like the better option. It does look like the easier option. It does look like the more desirable option to just say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the towel. But here's the ticket. You're in too deep. You're in too deep. You have so much skin in the game going after this particular desire, going after this particular goal, going after this particular business idea, going after this particular career choice, going after this particular, working on this particular, marriage. Maybe it seems like the marriage is breaking down, right? And there's just something telling you, no, I'm gonna keep at this. It's that perfect little sweet spot where it's like, it almost really does look more desirable to quit. That's how you know you're in a season of enduring. Because when you endure something, it's not an easy thing to do. It's meant to be very difficult. It's meant to be like, man, this is a lot. Like, man, I'm about to crack. Like, man, this is getting heavy. This is already too heavy. I've been holding on to this for too long. And it's just like, gosh, like I'm just enduring a lot. Like a season of enduring. It's really to prep you. It's kind of like a boot camp. When people go through boot camp and maybe they're in a boot camp from the military or the Air Force or the police academy or fire academy, and they go through a boot camp and they have to endure a lot, right? They have to keep enduring. And it's meant to see who's going to quit, right? Because usually, right when it gets more and more difficult, people start to fall off like flies. It's designed like that on purpose. It's designed to see who can actually endure. Because if you can't endure this academy, there's no way you're going to actually be able to endure this in the real world, right? So God has you in a season of enduring to actually see, okay, I'm about to drop this blessing onto this human being right now. I'm about to drop this blessing on you, but I got to really make sure that you are equipped with the right skills, materials, and with the skills, materials, and the strength and the muscles to actually be able to not fumble the bag. When people say, oh man, they fumbled the bag? Because there's actually somebody really, really sad I just saw, somebody that I went to college with I just saw that they got sentenced to 8 years in jail. And I'm just like, they were so blessed. They had a career. I'm not going to say what career they had, but they had a career that people dream of having. Only like less than 1% of people actually get to experience this type of career. And now they're sentenced to 8 years in prison because they didn't actually have the right muscle to deal. Because guess what? Sometimes you can get so blessed that your very blessings are actually potentially putting you in danger. Like, say for example, when people get access to a lot of money, or they get greed, exactly. So you can end up like, let's just say you never had greed before. You weren't really a greedy person. All of a sudden you get this blessing, you get this career opportunity, you get this big lump sum of money, right? All of a sudden you're getting greedy, right? So it's like you didn't have that problem before, but the very blessing that you got actually put you at risk for these other potential things to come your way that are going to be potentially your demise. So God wants to make sure that you are so on point, that you are sturdy, you're not wobbly, right? And that could be your ability to manage money. It could be your ability to stay healthy. You can end up getting access to money or getting access to a certain group of people or getting access to be in certain rooms. And because your lack of emotional intelligence, or because you're not mature, or because you're overly excited, you can end up making yourself look stupid. You can end up fumbling the opportunity. You could end up saying yes when you really should have said no. You can end up getting used because maybe now you have an opportunity. Now other people see your blessing. Now people will, oh, hey, do you mind, can I go with you next time to that event? Oh, can I actually, borrow $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 from you. Oh, now can I do this? And you don't have the discernment, you don't have the intuition to say no, right? So God, you might be like, why am I on this path? Why do I keep going and it just feels so slow? Like, I don't actually feel like I'm seeing any fruit. That's because God has you in a season of endurance, enduring. God has you in a season where you think it's moving slow. You think it's going 2 miles an hour. You know, you think that there's really no point to doing this. Like, there's no means to an end. Like, what's the point of this? But there's just something deep, deep, deep down in your soul that makes you keep going. There's something deep down in your soul that's saying, you know what? Yeah, this is still the right way. This is still the right direction. But on the outside, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. But I know I can feel something happening, shifting on the inside, right? So you want to make sure that you can discern between the two. You want to make sure that you actually have the wherewithal and the ability to judge wisely, to say, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm going to keep going because something is about to crack. And I literally went through this, and I've gone through this a few times. You don't go through this season of endurance, in my opinion, tons and tons of times. It's really when there's about to be like a huge next level or next dimension that you're going into. Also too, I'm happy to hear comments, and I'm happy to answer any questions, so go ahead and put them down in the chat. I'll be able to glance down, you know, when I stop. Okay. So if you're feeling that way right now, no need to worry, no need to quit. This is your sign that you are in a season of enduring. Just keep at it. Keep going. Do not quit. Okay? Number three way that you can find out that you can actually say, okay, you know what? I actually am in a season of endurance. This is not something I should quit on. This is not something that I should give up on, but I'm actually in a season of God testing me to see if I can endure. Okay? It is, you oddly have a bizarre sense of peace. It's not like the peace where you like, in the general sense of peace, it's like there's just an internal knowing that you cannot put into words. You cannot explain it. You can't rationalize it. It doesn't make sense on the outside, but there's just something telling you to keep going. Okay? This is, and I'll give you a specific example. When 9 years ago, when I was driving to work every day in the hot LA sun, okay, stuck in traffic, literally going like stop and go traffic for years, something said, this is not my life. On the outside, I had a good job. On the outside, it looked like I had made it. On the outside, it was like, oh yeah, Ciana's on a great trajectory to be high up in a company. But what happened is, all right, something told me to quit. There was just nothing made sense on the outside. It did not look the way that you would think it should look on the outside. Like, okay, are you getting abused at work? No. Are you getting terrorized or bullied at work? No. Are you making a little bit of money? No. I was actually making pretty decent money, right? Nothing made sense on the outside, but there was an internal bizarre piece of like, something is just saying this is the right way to go, even though if I were to try to explain this, I would get talked out of it. Okay? That's how you know you're, indicator number 3, very clear indicator number 3, that you are in a season of enduring. There's just an internal knowing that people just cannot, they won't be able to pick up on. And they're not meant to pick up on it. It's because it's your journey. It's your circumstances. It's your test just between you and God to see if you can actually do this. Because the breakthrough that is about to happen for you is about to be so powerful that you're going to thank God that he took that long to give it to you. You're going to be on your hands and knees saying, praise God, thank you, Lord, thank you, Jesus, that you literally made me go through that season of enduring. Yeah, it took 3 or 4 years. Yeah, it took, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. Yeah, it felt like I was delusional. Yeah, this is a bonus number 4. I'm happy I said that. It feels slightly delusional. It feels slightly delusional. It's almost like, am I tripping? Like, do I need to get a really reconsider this? It's a bizarre piece and slightly delusional. That's how I'll lump those two together. It's a bizarre piece and slightly delusional. It's a very unique feeling that you don't really feel often, but you just know to keep going. It literally technically is delusional because you don't have any physical evidence showing you that what you're about to do, or the fact that you keep going, that it makes any sense. So that's how you know, okay? That's how you know that you are in a season of enduring. Just endure. Just live in it. Just live in the discomfort, live in the bizarre piece, live in the slight delusion. It's not full delusion, okay? It's just like a slight delusion. And how I know this is that I've had this feeling maybe 3 or 4 times in my entire adult life now, and every single time the confirmation ends up coming through. The confirmation and the blessing, the moment, the circumstances end up being like, now I get it. So for example, when I ended up quitting, it didn't make any sense. I quit with no backup plan. No backup plan. People were like, you live in LA, Ciana. You have a perfectly good job. You have a company car, a company cell phone, company benefits. What are you doing? And you don't have any backup. You don't have another job lined up? Nope. And guess what ended up happening? That's when I started my entrepreneurial journey. That's when I traveled the world. I went to Egypt. I went to China. I went to the UK. I went to different islands. I literally got to live, right? Instead of working at a job that was sucking my soul away. So it's like, I didn't know I was going to be going to Egypt a couple years later. I didn't know I was going to be going to China a couple years later. I didn't know that I was going to be visiting Toronto and all these places, because I actually it was like, I trusted God, and God was like, now you get to receive the exact thing that I was, it's like, how do I explain this? God was like, you guaranteed get to have this, but you have to make this step, and it doesn't make sense in normal reality. It's going to look delusional. And it's so hard to explain, because it really is a sweet spot of, you could technically be actually delusional, or you could be slightly delusional. It's like there's a perfect amount of delusion there. If it's too much, it really isn't the right choice. But if there's no delusion, then it's on a season of enduring. It's like the season of enduring is a very special feeling. It's like, when you hit your elbow right here and it doesn't quite hurt, but it's definitely uncomfortable. You don't want to continue to feel the feeling. And then it kind of stays like that for a while. And it's like, you could still operate and do what you were about to do, but it still stays like that for a couple minutes, where you're just like, ooh, like, I want this feeling to go away. That's what it's kind of like. It's like, it doesn't hurt. It's like, you don't need to go to the doctor for it. It's like, it's going to go away. It's going to go away, but it's just like, it just feels weird. It's just a bizarre feeling when you hit your elbow. That I was saying to a creator, I'm on a 3-year journey. The creator responded 3 years. 3 years isn't that long, and it looks like 5. I mean, it's, you guys, if you are 30 and up, get comfortable with seasons that are 2, 3, 4 years. Get comfortable with that not being a long period of time. When you're younger, when you're like 28 and under, you haven't lived enough life yet. So 4 years sounds like a big chunk of time, right? It's like, whoa, like, I have to endure this for 4 years. Like, oh my gosh, it feels like a lifetime, right? But once you get to your late 30s, you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, talk to an 80-year-old, they're going to be like, 4 years is a blink of an eye, right? So don't get hung up on time, because the more you focus on the time that it's taking, the more the enduring time period feels like it was like only 2 years. But when you're in it, it just feels like so long. It feels like drawn out. You're in the mud. And when people out the mud, that's what that feeling is like. Okay, so that's what I want you to take away from this video. That is the 3. If anyone watches this on the replay and is kind enough to take the time to write out the 3 points in a bullet point fashion, that would be so appreciated. But those are the 3 powerful ways, very, very clear ways that you know that you are in a season of enduring. And you are meant to hear this so that way you do not quit. Okay? And guess what? Even when the blessing came, I still didn't realize that was like, I had to go through the enduring feeling. It wasn't until like deeper into the blessing where I'm like, now I get it. Now I understand. Right? So, like, for example, when I started making money online consistently, if I had started making money online 10 years ago, I would have blew it. I would have blew the money on like just excessive traveling, clothes, makeup, like just silly stuff, right? But when God allowed me to start making money online consistently, it was because I went through like a very, very long time, almost a decade of just like really learning how money worked, getting out of debt. Like, just because when you kind of grow up, I wouldn't put myself in the poor category, but we definitely hovered between lower economic status to like lower middle class to middle class, and then drop back down to lower middle class, like as far as like, economics wise. And what happens is when you're not trained on what to do with money, you think that right when you get money, you're supposed to spend it. You're like, ooh, what can I buy? What can I buy? Instead of thinking, okay, wow, I just got this big lump sum of money. How can I make this money work for me now? I'm going to create another money vehicle. I'm not going to burn this money on things and liabilities, right? I'm going to use this money as a money soldier to go out there for me and recruit more money soldiers. But I had to learn a lot. I had to go through a huge season of enduring, because if that's the case, I would not be where I'm at today. I would have made my first full-time set of income, and then I would have blew that money and then been like, dang, now I'm at a point where I got to get a 9-to-5 again, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, you have up and down months. It's just how it rolls. Hold on. You guys, this kombucha, woo! The kombucha, the bubbles went down my throat. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Whoa, okay. It was like I didn't even barely swallow. I like breathed in the bubbles. Sorry, guys. I'm okay, I promise. I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm driving safe. There's no cars around me. I'm safe. I'm on like an open road. Okay. So, I'm enduring right now. Enduring those bubbles. But what else? Does that make sense? Like, give me some feedback. Like, let me know. Have you experienced that before? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you know the feeling that I'm talking about? Right? And then oh yeah. Woo, I took too big of a gulp. Like, I just like, I was like chugging it. But I'm okay. So yeah, does that make sense? Like this season of enduring, and that and some, it was just on my spirit to really talk about that for you specifically. You know who you are. Like it can just feel like you're in this black hole of a dimension, and you're just like, what am I doing? Like, why did I think that this was a good idea? Then at the same exact time, you're like, but I'm supposed to keep going. You know, it's just a very bizarre feeling. Right? Felt that way this week? Yeah. So, any questions in general? Any questions before I'm gonna actually get a snack right now, because I have like a solid hour to drive, and I'm gonna go back over these mountains, and I just know that the phone's gonna cut out. So I'm gonna, before I get to the mountains, I'm gonna pull over and go to Starbucks real quick, get a snack. So any questions for the next, I'll be on for like another like 5 to 7 minutes. Any questions? By the way, as any questions are coming in or other comments, the one-on-one email coaching is closed for the rest of the month. So I know a couple people have attempted to get, it's closed for the rest of the month because I only have a certain amount of time that I can give every month to email coaching, because it does take, I'm very thorough. I take it very seriously because I want to get you from point A to point B. I don't just like send like a paragraph back of an answer. I like go in. I'll send a voice memo, all that. So also too, if you have gotten the email coaching, there's been a few people that have got the email coaching, but then I haven't received a question, and I want you to get the value of what you bought. So remember to, you know, I know we're all busy and stuff like that, but just remember to write in your question. Or I'm happy to, even if you want to send me a voice memo, I'm happy to receive a voice memo. There is that capability as well. Okay. Ooh, you guys, those fries, these McDonald's fries. See, I go through it too. I go through my temptations. For years, I used to have to drive on this freeway, driving back and forth to just like different events throughout my life, especially during the college years. And my go-to would be McDonald's fries with extra honey mustard. And I would literally drench the honey mustard, or the fries in the honey mustard, so bad to where sometimes I would get a large fry. You guys, this is such an embarrassing thing to talk about. I would get a large fry, and I would be like halfway through the fries, and I would run out of honey mustard, and I would literally Google another McDonald's near me just so I could get 2 more packets of honey mustard. So it'd be a total of like, and then sometimes like some of the McDonald's workers would be some haters, and I'd be like, can I have 4 honey mustards? And they're like, well, some of them would be like, because some people wouldn't care, they would give me that much, but then some people would be like, well, I have to charge you. And me being like a broke college student, I was like, dang it, I don't want to spend like, even though I had to spend more money driving around to with wasting gas to try to find another McDonald's. Oh, I wouldn't want to spend the extra 25 cents or 35 cents. So I would find another McDonald's and get more honey mustard. Crazy. Is email coaching for digital products? Oh, it's for anything. It's for health, wellness, money making, YouTube growth, unlock, like having a breakthrough. And you know, there's a couple reasons why I created it. Number one is there's been times where people have sent me a question in the comments, and it's just like, I don't have enough context to really give good advice. So I created it for that way, for that. Excuse me. Number two, sometimes some things are just too personal, right? Like you don't want to put everything out there, and there is a clause and a disclaimer that everything is 100% confidential. So I created it for that, for people that want to really elaborate on their question, and maybe they don't want to put it on a live stream, but they really like want my personal advice, okay? And they want it to be confidential. So there's that. So the confidential ability there. And then number three, it's like, I just get you from point A to point B, right? We don't have to, this is not meant for you, for me to be your permanent life coach, or for me to be like, I don't know. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist at all, but like, I don't want people to use me as a crutch. I want to be able to get you from point A to point B. We get you figured out, right? And sometimes like when I have more to the story, I'm like, oh, that's why you're doing what you're doing. I just had a breakthrough with my sister, not the sister that's always on here, but I just met up with my sister right now to have lunch. She's in California visiting. And so we had to like drive. I had to drive 2 hours north. She had to drive 2 hours south so we can meet for lunch. And we had a really awesome conversation. And I just gave her a breakthrough right now. It's like, sometimes you just need someone to see your blind spots. So that's why it's there. So people, yeah. And you know, I'm happy to use it as a tip. I mean, people have gotten it as a, you know, and I'm like, are they just wanting to buy it just to give me their money? Like, what's going on? So make sure, do not forget to send in your question. And I think it's really cool because sometimes when you're on a live coaching moment, you might be kind of flustered, or might be kind of like your thoughts aren't all the way figured out. So you can actually sit down and like write out what you really want to say, and take the time to do that. And then that way I can thoroughly, you know, respond back. And then people get 3 questions within. So it's one main question and then 2 follow-up questions. So just want to let you guys know that the email coaching will be back up. I'll be caught back up August 1st. Okay. So that's if you go to embodypursuit.com. If anyone's like, well, what is this even about? I go through the entire what I offer. I go through the entire thing in the description, so you see exactly what you're getting. And it's 100% guaranteed by the end of the email coaching, you will be unlocked. And for some reason, if you're just are still so confused, we'll keep going until we figure it out. I mean, within reason, right? But if it takes like an additional email, like it stretches to like 4.5 questions or something, then, but if you're really telling me your full on issue up front, clearly in detail, then we'll get you unlocked. We'll get you figured out. Okay. Also to go to embodypursuit.com. Go to embodypursuit.com to check that out. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get this snack. I'm going to get on the road, back on the road, go over these mountains. My ears are still popping from earlier when I had to drive over them earlier. So I thought the kombucha might like kind of help with that, but it didn't. So, yeah. Make sure to subscribe. Become a part of the Embody Pursuit tribe if you're new. Make sure to comment, share. And the reason why I really want people to share this content, it has nothing to do with me at all. What I've been loving about this journey is that as I've seen people come into this community, we all learn so much from each other. It's like a big pot of like value. And because we all have different experiences and different trials and tribulations, it's like we get to learn from each other's mistakes. And so it's like we automatically are all getting better. So like when you guys add value, it provokes me to think of something, and then I'm dropping a gem, and then you guys are like, oh, and you guys drop more gems. And I'm like, that is just so cool that a group of people can come together and literally help each other out. I know I was going to do that. I don't want to do it on live with you guys, like looking crazy. But yeah, I need to do that. I need to like open my jaw. So yeah, make sure to, it really does grow the community. I don't really know how. I think most people found me. Actually, I think everybody found me for different reasons. So you just never know who's looking. You never know. And it's been really cool to see people sharing this channel, sharing the tribe. They get in here and then people start vibing and then they follow each other. So it's just it's a cool thing. So when I say subscribe to the channel, become a part of the Embody Pursuit tribe and share, I think that it kind of makes me cringe when people say, make sure to share your favorite video, because it helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it. It's like, it depends on what kind of channel you have, but like, it's not about me. Like, it's just the more people that find this channel, the more we all get to learn from each other. So anyways, have a beautiful rest of your day, guys.